Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is Chit, Chat, and Chapters. I'm Austin. She's Lauren. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Oh, wait. Lauren, what kind of day are you having?
Oh, take a wild guess. It's a fantastic day, always. Come on now. Granted, it's a hot, fantastic day.
It's a fantastic day.
Yeah.
Needs a fan.
All the fans, full tilt, constantly. It's soup outside. It's awful.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's like walking through Jell-O.
I took Morgan for a walk this morning. I've taken her now twice in the past week. Both times she's walked behind me because she doesn't want to be out in this. She's like, this is awful. And she's the type that pulls on the end of the leash. Like, she's an eager walker. And she's like, no, even I'm hot. Let's not do this.
She's looking for shade wherever she can find it. As little shade as you're giving, she's finding it.
Yes. Oh. It's so bad.
Goodness.
What about you? Man. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
We're all shocked. No, things are good. Work has been very busy. Lots of roofs are being damaged by storms, and lots of travel, a lot of windshield time. So I've been able to finish a fair amount of books, actually.
Nice. Good.
And I've finished some varied books, but we'll get to our finished books in a sec. Lauren, what are you reading right now?
So I am in the middle of 2 and about to start a 3rd. So okay. I brought props, obviously. I am audiobooking The Correspondent.
Okay.
It is her name is Sybil, and the entire book is written in letters and correspondence to and from her. So there's no narration, there's no whatever. Every part of this is a letter that either she has sent or gotten, or email, or invitation, whatever. So there's no actual narration through it. It's just letters. And I'm listening to it, and it's fantastic because it's a cast narration. So when you get a new character that is sending her a new letter, it's a new voice, which is really cool. Nice. And it actually is really nice to help you kind of remember whose storyline you're with and in. She has she goes to a garden club, so it's the same voice for the garden club lady. So then when that voice comes up, helps with the garden club narrator. Okay, got it, And this is I'm 25% of it into it, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. It's nice. Lovely. It's lovely. I have a feeling it's going to be a crier. I think I'm going to cry at the end. From what I've heard from everybody, it's just that you can already tell that there's going to be some stuff that I'm like, oh, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. But I have that. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, I'm reading To Cage a Wild Bird. It's a dystopian. And it is...
Sorry, it was funny with the the cover of the first one.
There's birds.
And To Cage a Wild Bird. That's what I thought when you said exact opposite end of the spectrum.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I get that. No, it's a dystopian.
Okay.
And basically it's about...
dystopian read.
God, I love a dystopian book. Dystopian had my heart before fantasy ever did. I love dystopian. And so, this one is so good. This is one of those that, I always really hesitate to compare something to a classic of its genre. You will not hear me referring to something like a fantasy, comparing it to ACOTAR or Fourth Wing, because I take that very seriously. And I've seen so many books not get the correct marketing of it because people are too eager to throw those comparisons out, where this is very Hunger Games. It's it's a caste system in which if you do something wrong 3 times, you get sent to a jail in which you are hunted for sport.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it has that kind of hunting element to it, and it's a older sister trying to save her younger brother, so there's the sibling element too that Hunger Games has. It's so good, and you just know that there's there's the obviously corrupt government because it's a dystopian and everything, but I am halfway-ish into this, and I'm loving it. I'm so glad the second one comes out still later this year because I'm going to need it right away. Like, this is top tier dystopian. Loving it.
Nice.
And then last but not least, I'm also currently in the middle of almost done with the Off-Campus series because the show came out and the hockey, And so I finished the first 3.
I can't remember if I told you this or not. My sister actually took the day off so that way she could binge watch the series.
I love her. Oh, I love your sister. That's amazing. I won't do that until I don't have a job anyway, but I wouldn't do that until I had read them. And I hadn't read them yet. So I'd read the first 3 and we're starting the 4th. So.
Gotcha. Nice.
Yep.
And this
I love that kind of dedication.
This is not Game Changer. Or no.
Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry. That's homosexual hockey.
Correct.
This is heterosexual hockey.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. I gotta get my hockey romances.
You gotta get them straight.
There's a lot of them.
Or
Absolutely.
not straight.
Or not straight. Nice. Liz just finished the first one of Heated Rivalry, which I think is called Game Changer.
It's called Game Changer. That's why you thought that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Liz was like, number 1, Austin, you won't like this. Number 2, 60 pages in is the first sex scene. That's
I've heard it's a lot.
That's insanely quick. That's such a quick... And it's only like 300 pages.
That's the whole thing, is like... And I think that's what I'm realizing, and is that, like, when you have a cute romance like this that is 350, whatever, I'm getting so used to my really long books that I notice myself getting tripped up where I'm like, okay, they're already together, what is going on? But I'm like, well, yeah, when you only have 300 pages and you're trying to create a story that's slightly more in-depth, you kind of have to, like, speed things along, I think, to a certain degree. Now, there's a fine line to toe there. And so, like, you know what, we'll start with this. This is, we'll get to your reads, but I do want to dive into this for just a second. Because
let's do it.
So far, the other 3, The Mistake, The Deal, and The Score, have all been 5-star reads for me.
Okay.
But not because they are, like, the most best well-written thing that is, like, immaculate romance. Like, I have read better romances. I have read better hockey romances.
Okay.
But there's not a bad thing about these books. They have such a wonderful combination of he's a hockey player, so he's a little bit arrogant and kind of an asshole. And all of them are really only sweet for their girl. Otherwise, they're kind of a player. And... But all of them also have that really, like, deep additional thing. They get their comeuppance with their own life plot. One of them has a dad that's an ass. One of them wants to go pro and can't for X reasons. They all have their other things going on that I think makes these books so bingeable. And I completely get the craze around them, even though they're not the best, most wonderful hockey romance I've ever read. And they are really quick. I mean, in the one I just read, the first scene you get from his POV, he's having a threesome.
Whoa!
And then gets walked in on and gets cock blocked, and it's a whole funny thing. But, like, right off the bat, and I'm just like, oh, this is so much, But then you kind of, like, figure out who that character is, and it's like, oh, okay. It's so intentional about it that, like, I completely get why these kinds of books are. Where Heated Rivalry, from everything I've seen, feels like a lot of it just for the sake of being a lot of it.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. And I don't know. You're throwing me for the fact that you've read better hockey romances, but all of these scratch a certain itch. I need you to explain that a little more, because I don't get it.
No, it's the idea. I'll talk about The Deal just because it's the one that has the season out, right? And this one is my favorite so far. There is not a bad part of this book. There is nothing wrong with this book. It is so bingeable. And even in the beginning, when Garrett, the main character, is kind of an asshole because he's like a player and he's like, you know, he is the hockey star and he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think reading these outside and not being in college, I knew a guy like Garrett, you know, and it's like he's that kind of like, he's that jock that you know, but you know he's a good guy too, you know?
Okay.
And so I think these have a lot of like real relatability to them while still being far enough that it's not like I couldn't name a Garrett Graham, but I know his character type really
Sure.
like in a comforting way. And like all of these girls in these characters are very well thought out and have really a lot of depth to them as people. They're not just girls for the guys. And like because
Gotcha.
Hannah's a singer. The one in the next book, she's a sophomore, but she like goes to Paris to see her mom and like finds herself. And the third book, she's going to be an actress. And like so they have kind of that opposites attract in that like sports versus not. But it's also not I don't know sports because I'm a theater kid. The main girl, her dad's a hockey person, and you know, I mean, there's just like all these different worlds that feel actually real for a change. And I think that helps with the bingeability so much. And they're
Okay.
not trying to do too much. Each character are there's the plot with the two main characters coming together and dating and the romance part. Each character has one additional thing that they're working through. In the first book, Garrett is struggling with his dad is a huge NFL and kind of a jerk. So like he's struggling with that. Where Hannah is just really struggling with her duet partner to get a scholarship so that she can see her parents and stuff. And it's like that's realistic. That's real stuff. It's
Yeah.
not these kind of books where sometimes romances I feel like try to add too much into the exterior plots that either don't get enough time and attention to them or they like just fall really flat or you miss then the romance. Then all of a sudden they're together in the romance and they're dealing with all these side stuff and it's like, well, this is a romance at its core.
Right.
And so I think that's why these are just scratching such a wonderful little itch for me is because they know they're not taking themselves too seriously as romance books.
Yeah. And it's not straying away from the romance of it. It's still there.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense why my sisters love those books. Seriously, they say it's their favorite series. So.
Oh, I mean, I have Rex. I can recommend better, like I said. But I can see why. I can see why. Like these are like you want a hockey romance? Here's your stereotypical in the perfect way hockey romance. Now if you want something better, I have better. But intro to reading, hockey romance 101, this is the textbook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm probably
So,
not going to read them, but
that's honestly watch the show if you want. You know,
Yeah.
I've heard that it's actually like really good. You know, I've heard a lot of the husbands lingering in the living room entryway that get sucked in. You know, so feel free. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I don't see it being a book for you because it is not as sports heavy. You know, I'm also used to the hockey romances where the girl shows up in the jersey and goes to all the games, so you get more of that hockey part to it. This
Yeah.
doesn't really have that. It's
Gotcha.
much heavier in the school atmosphere. So,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
but what about you? What are you currently reading?
So I just finished all of my physical reads. So I've got this one, the Encyclopedia of Fairies.
Nice.
That's one that you've already read or are about to
I'm
read.
going to. About to.
Okay. So I'm starting that one. I also am starting Cat's People.
Cute.
Liz just finished this like today.
Cute.
And she came downstairs, tears in her eyes, and was like, "You have to read this." So, if it's making my wife, who I say with all the love in my heart, she's a stone cold bitch.
Oh, she's told me. She's like,
Yeah.
if you can make me cry in a book, there's something. It's incredible.
major.
Yeah, she's not a
Big
crier.
time.
Yeah, she told
Okay,
me.
she just isn't. She wonderful person, not a crier.
Yeah, I don't feel like you can
So-
work with kids and be a crier. To be fair.
There's a lot of elementary school teachers who are criers, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know what?
there's
Take back my comment.
there's some great ones. That are
Oh,
definitely
obviously.
criers.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, cat people. Have you started it?
middle school?
So
Middle school teachers can't be criers. There's
that's
no way.
fair. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We had, when we were in high school, we had, well, I say we, I took French, but there was a Spanish teacher that I can't remember her name, but it was our freshman year, and whoever the class was ahead of us tried really hard to get her to cry, and she cried almost every day. Like, she would
in a
shut the
mean
door.
way?
Yeah! She would shut the door, turn the lights off, and just, like, silently cry after, like, the class, the sophomores or whatever, because they just tried to be really mean to her.
High
High
schools
schools
are
are the
awful.
worst, dude.
They're so
Like,
bad. Which
why
actually
does
is really
anyone
funny
want-
because I had a Spanish teacher who it was actually, again, it was the grade above me, used to make fun of the way she said squirrels. And they would like trick her into saying the word squirrels, not in Spanish, the English, like actual saying squirrels, not,
Uh-huh.
I don't know the Spanish version, but like would trick her into saying squirrels and then they'd laugh at her.
Dog.
High schoolers are awful people. High schoolers
schoolers
are
are
awful
mean.
people.
That's terrible.
So mean.
But so, anyway, Cats People and the Encyclopedia of Fairies. Those are two that I am about to read. I am in the middle of Good Material by Dolly Alderton.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm so intrigued.
Okay, why? Why are you intrigued?
I haven't read it, but for once you're mentioning a book that I've actually heard of and like really want to get to.
Ooh,
and I'm
I
intrigued.
am going to apologize now.
Okay.
Because I'm 50% of the way through, and it's the story of a comedian who is going through a breakup, who they were together for like 5 years. He's now like 36 or 31. All of his friends are married, and he is now this single guy, and he can't catch a break. I picked it up because I needed something lighter, a comedy after one of the books that I read, and it's lighter. It's not super funny. Like, I expected this to be a funny rom-com, and so far it's a little bit funny, and there's no romance. It is this man is sad. Like,
Well, you know what? That just takes one off my TBR. So, you know.
yeah, I mean, hopefully it turns around, but like so far, like
If you're not even seeing a light at the end of the tunnel at 50%, then like.
no.
And all
He
of her books are
refuses-
fairly short, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like 10 hours.
Yeah.
So it's not long, but it's so he's the things going for him are that he's monitoring his bald spot, like taking daily
At
photos.
31?
Yeah. And so there's that. He refuses to write comedy about the breakup, which I feel like that's going to be the turning point. He's going to like tell a joke about it and it's going to get a big laugh and then it's going to actually turn around. But like he just is outright refusing to do that right now. And none of his friends want to hang out with him because he's just sad about his relationship all the time. And so it's just a guy being sad. Is the whole book so far.
Yeah, I don't love that.
There have been a couple of really funny moments, but not enough for the amount of sad.
Yeah. No.
So, it's also very British, which
Interesting.
is fine. But, like, this is the second book now that I picked up without really knowing what it is, and it being very British.
Abundantly
is-
British.
Yeah, it shakes you when you're not prepared for
That's
British.
fair. That's fair.
Like
It does.
it's so
Sneaks up
it's
on
you
you.
know, it does sneak up on you. So that's what I'm currently reading. I've got I've got two books on Libby, and I don't know if I'm gonna. This one is called The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. I don't know if I'm gonna read it. It's only 9 hours, but it's a professional baseball player who is like going through a divorce, or like his wife is about to leave him because she's faking orgasms.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna figure it out by going to this romance book club for men. I don't know. It seems
I've heard there's like four. Or isn't that the one? Because I know there's another one that's close to it. But isn't there like 4 or 5 in that little mini series?
let's see.
I think so, because I think I have that one on my TBR as well.
I
And
don't
then
know.
it has
It
like a
doesn't.
romance one.
It does not say. At least Libby doesn't say that it's. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like. No. No. I think this one's a standalone.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's some about that makes me go, I don't know if this is what I'm into or not.
Yeah.
So I've kind of avoided that one. I think I might just let that one lapse and not read that one. I don't know. There's something about it just making me go, no.
It has potential, but I don't know that it has enough potential.
Yeah. I don't know. So, but then I also, this one I am actually excited for is Carrie. Oh, what is it? It's by our favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid. Carrie Soto is back.
I loved that. Loved it.
Sweet.
It's and you'll love it for the summer. It's tennis.
Yeah.
You'll love it. Yeah, it's a great summer read. Fantastic.
Sweet.
You'll love it.
I'm excited for it. It's the next audiobook I'm going to listen to.
Nice, and you should. Taylor Jenkins Reid's books are phenomenal as audio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. So,
Yeah, no, you'll
Liz
love
also
that one.
read that one. Liz loved it.
Yep.
All good things.
Yep.
All right. Now, the books that we have finished. Because you and I, we're always simpatico. We're congruous.
Considering we read like opposite types of books a lot of the
Yeah.
time, it's really weird how that works out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wild. So, not all of my books have been good, but all of them have been interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we're
Yeah.
on the same page here.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
granted, I've read 10 books, so I have read just some good ones
Okay.
that weren't necessarily I mean, like I said, there's nothing overly interesting about the off-campus series. It's just some good books. But
Yeah.
I've had some abundantly interesting reads.
Okay. Let's go back and forth. I've got 4. Let me double check. That. I've got 4 that I've finished, 3 with major opinions on, and 1 with minor opinions on.
Cool. I finished 10, and I have 4. I have 3 with really interesting opinions.
Okay.
1 that I want to just bring up because that's really, really good, and I'm eventually going to convince you to read them. And then obviously the off-campus that we already talked about. So you go first because we already talked about my off-campus. You can go.
Okay. So, we'll start at the beginning. Game of Shadows, Barry Bonds, Balco, and the Steroid Scandal by Mark Fanaro Wada.
Okay.
Okay, so this is this is a book written by the journalists that covered Barry Bonds and the whole steroid scandal in baseball.
Okay.
And it goes into detail with everything about Balco, the guy who ran the laboratory, all of his like scheming. It turns out he was in the band Tower of Power as like the bass player for a while. Crazy.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah, but he was a schemer from the beginning, and his whole thing was he got professional athletes illegal steroids so that way they would say this ZMA, which is his legal supplement, they would say, "Oh, this is all because of ZMA," which is like a zinc mineral thing. And they said we run faster, we sleep better, we recover better because of ZMA. And so, this included Olympians, this included baseball players, this included football players, like all of these guys, right? Now, it also goes very in depth to who Barry Bonds is as a person, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It talks a lot about how awful of a person Barry Bonds is.
Ugh.
How his while he was playing, he was like when he was when he was a Pirate, when he played for Pittsburgh, like how he was voted like the least likable player by the fans, by media. He was horrible to the media. Like he never wanted to answer questions. Everyone he knew he was like he won MVP two times while in Pittsburgh, but he didn't make as much money as another guy, so he raised a big stink about it. He took his team to arbitration every single year to try and get more money out of them because he believed he was the best player on the planet, which at the time, arguably he was.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he could never hit when, like, he almost never won a World Series. He won one World Series with the Giants. And because he was never good in the clutch, he didn't get the paycheck like that. So, talked about how awful of a person he was with that, how bad of a person he was to train with, talked about how he was really bad to his ex-girlfriend, all this sort of stuff, okay? How he cheated on multiple women, all this sort of stuff, right? And I'm going along with it, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is all super interesting. Wow, I didn't know this about Barry Bonds. And then the epilogue hits. And it says that Barry Bonds is continuing to chase Hank Aaron's home run record and is expected to hit it in 2006. This book was written and released in early 2006. His career wasn't done yet. This was written by... It makes it so weird because this is no longer, in my mind, a non-fiction, non-biased story.
It's an expose.
It's an expose. It's a hit piece by a journalist who's mad about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is written by a guy who is mad that Barry Bonds cheated, which is fine. I mean, did he cheat? Did he not cheat? Steroids are illegal there was no steroid testing.
Yeah.
So, like, you could argue no one was cheating.
Yeah.
So, but the whole thing of it, it's weird, right?
That's weird. And especially it being, like, I've seen, so there's I haven't read it, but I've heard that it's really interesting book about the Zapruder JFK film.
Yeah.
That is by his daughter. And, like,
Whoa.
his daughter wrote it. It's a very long novel. Apparently it's phenomenal. And I also love the JFK. That's my favorite, like, weird conspiracy
theory and all that.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. But anyway, and so, like, that's interesting because it's like, A, it's his daughter, and B, it's like so far past when it happened that it's then retailing historic facts. Where a journalist writing a novel about something currently happening, it just feels like an expose, hit piece kind of thing. You just, you weren't going to get what you wanted to say published in a newspaper, so you're going to write a book about it. Like...
Yeah. Right. If this is written 5 years after, different. Totally
3 years
different.
after. There's
3
like,
years after. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no longer happening. That makes it fair game. You can write with whatever interviews you want in it. Like, you can, in the entire time, he was like, this was stated in court documents. This was stated in newspaper publications. Like, all of it came from reliable sources.
Yeah, like, I'm super glad that you're citing sources.
Yeah. But it's happening as it's happening. It feels weird.
Yeah, that's like just put it in the New Yorker or something, like, whatever newspaper you need to put it in, that's great, but, like, that's where it needs to be.
Yeah. I ended up giving it 3 stars because of that weird, like, it doesn't sit well now.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So, yeah. So I gave it 3 stars. All right. What about you?
So, okay, that does lead me. I don't have any good nonfiction lately, to be honest. But I, on my backlist, have had this. It's called Grown by
Okay.
Tiffany D. Jackson. It is a YA book
Uh-huh.
that the back is just when a legendary R&B artist, Corey Fields, spots Enchanted Jones at an audition, her dreams of being a famous singer take flight. Until Enchanted wakes up with blood on her hands and zero memory of the previous night. Who killed Corey Fields?
Whoa.
I was like, sign me up. Sign me up. This sounds fantastic. I love me some Hollywood drama. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Enchanted Jones is not 18. Corey Fields is 32.
Ooh.
Or 28. Doesn't matter. Over a decade older than her.
Ooh.
This is a YA book that should have a page of trigger warnings, and it doesn't.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, no, it does. The content warnings are mentions of sexual abuse, rape, assault, child abuse, kidnapping, and addiction to opioids.
That's pretty adult for a YA.
Yeah! Yeah! I finished this in like 4 hours, I think. I could not put it down, but my face the entire time was like, I got uncomfortable reading it. And I understand that that's why it's important to read books like this.
Yeah.
That's why it's important, because this is a very real thing that happens, and it happens more in the African American community than it does in the white, whatever. And like, it's such an important read. It's such an important thing that happens still today, and like, yep, super important. And so I read it and I finished it, and I don't know what to rate it because, oh man, I still feel icky even thinking about reading it. But isn't that the point?
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
if that's the point, then what do you rate it?
Oh. Oh man. It
And it
makes
was
you feel the
so
way
well
that it
done.
wants to make you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make you feel good.
Yep.
Ooh. Where are you leaning?
I think I'm going to land on a 4-star.
Okay.
Because if I'm still thinking about it, which I read this a while ago, I have read 7 books since. Like, if I am still thinking about it, then obviously it's doing what it was intended to do. And
Right.
the fact that I could read it, it is over 350 pages, and I read it in like 4 hours. I read it in one evening, start to finish. That tells me that it's also written well enough and compelling enough that it had me hooked the entire time.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think the mechanics of the 4-star for me are all there. It's kind of like the deal and making it a 5-star because there's not a bad thing wrong with it. I can't give this a 5-star because of the material. I feel icky doing that. But it is so important and so whatever that, like, yeah, I think it is a 4-star book. This is an incredible read. But it's really, really hard. It's a really hard. There were so many times I was like, why am I reading this? Why am I doing this? I cannot finish this. I'm not finishing it. I wanted to set it down. Ben came over and he's like, what are you doing? Because I was like audibly gasping and like sighing and grudging and all of these things. And I was like, this book just sucks. It's bad. It's a bad book, but it's like also not. It's phenomenal. And, whew, yeah.
Wow. Man, that's hard. That's so hard because it's learning, it's reading not for an escape, it's reading for insight, and it sounds like you gained a ton of insight from it, but man, that's just tough.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, I'm glad you read it. It sounds like, whew, man,
So
that's
it's-
tough, man.
Right? That's the thing. And so, like, I don't know. I have it reviewed and everything because it's incredibly thought provoking and there's a lot to say about it. But like, I think I'm gonna go with a 4-star just because it does feel like I don't want to put it in the middle because it's not a average book in any
Sure.
way, and I feel like giving it a 1 or 2 star or anything in there really does a disservice to the intentionality and meaning behind the book and the like thought provoking nature of it and the social commentary of it.
Yeah.
But then also, I feel kind of weird giving this book that is definitely not a YA book 4 stars when it's a YA book. Like,
Yeah.
Goodreads, the first little hashtag on Goodreads is young adult, and I'm like, I don't know that I would let my high school. You got to be like almost graduating high school before I'm letting you read that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that a 4-star is totally reasonable. If it's
Yeah.
that well written, and for it to be labeled a YA when it's clearly not, like that detracts from it. Totally.
yep.
So I'm with you. I think you're making the right choice, and a very interesting read for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew. All right. Well,
Back to you.
back to me.
I feel like
I
all
finished-
of these are going to have those really awkward pauses at the end because of how interesting and how you're just like, oh, I got to sit with this for a minute. But we're like, oh no, this is, we have to keep talking, actually.
We have to keep it. This is a podcast. We have
This
to
is a
keep going.
podcast. We have to do the podcast things
people
first,
don't
too.
like silence. I finished the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, Dungeon Crawler Carl number 3, and gave it 4 stars. It's the weakest so far. The idea behind this level is called the Iron Tangle, where basically it's a bunch of trains and you can't figure out how to get to the stairwell to the next level. But what it does really well is it adds to the political plot of everything, and so you really get to dive deep into these are the aliens that are controlling everything. This is the narrative that they're trying to control. Why are they like that? And so getting all of that behind the scenes is really, really cool. And it introduces a very interesting piece, which is the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, which is a book that the AI of the system doesn't know about, but kind of does, and so it's teaching him how to do things, but he has to act in a way that he just figured it out on his own. Right. And it has commentary from previous seasons of the Crawler series, not the book, but of the TV show.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I like all that. But the overall story of it, this one was 4-star.
I've heard
honestly,
that one. I've heard that the third is kind of. I've heard that
Yeah.
the third is kind of less for some people.
Yeah, I would say so. You want to jump back over to you, or you want me to go on with my next one?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, since you did one that you were kind of actually good with, I'm gonna convince you to continue to do Shield of Sparrows, so you can read The Rights of the Starling. Because I was about to start this last time we talked, and I read it, and I devoured it, and I finished it, and now I'm sobbing internally because I don't know when we're gonna get the third book.
That good, huh?
This is a god tier book. This is so flipping good. It's just
This is ACOTAR levels. This is Fourth Wing
so
levels.
good. Again, I'm not going to do that because I don't like making those comparisons. But it is up there, man. It is up there. I think I told you that Shield of Sparrows is kind of just a journey book, and I've used it for Gallivant or Books for the Boys because it is just kind of a journey book. They're on a ship for a lot of it, whatever. This ends up being just another journey book too. They fight monsters, but they don't really fight a whole lot else. But oh my gosh, it is the Onyx Storm of this series, where I left with more questions than answers, even though I got so many answers.
Mm-hmm.
I got plenty of answers. I got so much more into the world and into the lore and why our characters are where they are, and that's absolutely breathtaking. I sobbed halfway through this. The entire second half of this book I was crying. It's so good. But it's also I also closed it, and I was like, well, crap, where do we go from here? I have so many questions, and I think she's only making this a trilogy. So guess we'll find out.
Yes, so nice.
So good. It's so good.
I'll get to it. I will.
Yeah.
I will absolutely get to it.
Put it on Libby now because it probably has like a multi-month wait, so that way
Yeah.
you can eventually, as it comes around, get to it.
Absolutely. Did I actually? I think I might have already done that.
Good, because it's really good.
Holmes.
It's really good. This
I'm
one
gonna
has
have-
a storyline plot twist that is interwoven through the entire thing that was incredibly shocking. Incredibly,
Yeah.
one of the biggest twists that I've read in a book in a while. Very
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I've got some. I've got a lot of books that you've talked about in my Libby lineup.
Good.
To Cave You Wild Bird is coming up. The Correspondent is coming up.
Yes.
The next one coming up though, Accomplice to the Villain. So
Ooh, yeah.
excited for
Nice.
that one.
Nice.
Okay, the next one. This one is the other British book that I didn't know was British when I picked it up.
Fun.
It's called My Very 90s Romance by Jenny Colgan. And this book had no right to be this good with a main character who I hated.
Okay, I'm so glad that I saved my next book for the. Okay. This is.
This
Continue.
weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. All right. So, I gave it 3.5 stars. It's got a 3.14 on Goodreads. And the main character is, Holly is her name, is, like, just not a nice person throughout the whole book. Like, she's sweet, but, like, her inner monologue is just mean. And, like, and the narrator was, oh, have you seen Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
You know Keely Jones?
Yeah.
That's what she sounded like the whole time.
Oh,
And-
that's a lot.
It is a lot, and like you just like you
I
got
love Keely, but that'd be a lot for an entire book.
Keely's wonderful, but like she's got the big teeth smile,
Yeah.
and it like she somehow for some characters made the teeth bigger, and like it was just it was rough, but then the story itself makes no real sense. So like the Holly is running away from bad roommates, moves in with some friends from college who are all single. And I'm going to spoil this book for you. I don't think you should read it. I'm just going to
Yeah.
go for it. So she goes through and living with there's a guy living with her roommates in this house that never opens the door. Like he's a incel. He's on the computer all the time. His mom calls and he never answers it. Like he doesn't eat a whole lot. But he's apparently beautiful. Like no muscle tone or anything, but his face is gorgeous. And I'm like,
I don't
no.
like this already.
And then she goes on not a date with a guy. He's like, do you want to go to the museum with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. And she thinks it's a date, and he doesn't think it's a date, and so that's weird. There's a big party, and that party is weird because her old roommates show up and are asking her for a check, and that's weird. And then finally, the big turning point is that she gets the incel, the guy who's been on the computer this whole time, gets him to go for a walk. Okay? She has been crushing on this dude. Wanting him to become boyfriend, even though he's got a girlfriend that's living in America, who is a girl that is only online as well, due to social anxieties or whatever. They go for a walk. She goes up to kiss him. He freaks out and falls over backwards into like a small riverbed and goes into a coma.
What?
The last third of this book is her and her friends going to their other roommate's hospital because he's in a coma, and they're trying to get him to wake up via music and via reading, and like there's a doctor that's really mean, and there's this British show where this woman apparently like talks to people in comas to try and get them out of the coma, and it ends up with him waking up from the coma, which is great. He wakes up from the coma. He then flies to America to be with the girlfriend that he's only met online. She ends up with the guy who she went to the museum with. Like, because he's apparently a nice guy, and it ends with them going on a walk, and she's like, I think I only liked the potential of him, not actually him. And then that's the book.
So, okay, you started this conversation with this book didn't have any business being as good as it was, so you enjoyed all of this?
I did! That's what sucks! It's a bad book, but it's well written, and there are moments that are sweet, and the characters are not good, but they get in. It's like Seinfeld. It's like Friends, where no one's actually a good person, but the things that happen around them are entertaining. That's what this is.
That's so funny.
It's an entertaining read, and I shouldn't have liked it. But I did.
Funny. That's hilarious. Okay, well, speaking of characters who are kind of female main characters who are kind of insufferable.
Okay, great.
I did Catherine Center's Hello, Stranger.
Okay.
Now, I love Catherine Center. If you want a fun, fluffy read, if you need something, this is super cute.
Okay.
The premise of this is that the female main character, who is kind of insufferable the entire time, she's just snotty and, like, really self-absorbed, and the way she speaks bothers me. Her dialogue bothers me. Is kind of no other way to describe this. But she ends up falling in the middle of the street, hits her head, and with a small brain aneurysm or something like that, and wakes up with temporary face blindness.
Face blindness. Wow.
But she's a portrait artist. She's a realist portrait artist. So how do you paint people's faces when you can't see them? And so that is kind of like the plight of all of this.
Can't you still see?
No. So apparently the whole thing is like, and it actually goes in and like talks about, there's a page that it describes this.
Talks about face blindness?
This type, yeah. It talks about the science behind it, because this type of face blindness, you can see faces as, you see the face and you see that there are eyes and nose and a mouth, but your brain doesn't comprehend that it's seeing it as one unit.
Weird.
Yeah. And so, like, she can, like... Yeah. Did you just double check?
Just Googled it. Not that I didn't trust you, but I just Googled it because I was like, what is face blindness? And it says everything you just said.
Yeah.
Self-recognition issues?
Yes.
In severe... Whoa.
She couldn't see herself. She could recognize her dog, which was her main thing, because, like, it's just her and her dog. And she's like, what if I can't recognize him? That would be my biggest, like, problem. And she could, and so, like, that. But he was the only one. She couldn't recognize herself, so she wasn't looking in mirrors or anything. But the whole reason she fell was because she was running out of a store away from this guy that was trying to be nice to her. And she basically was like, I don't need help from anybody, whatever. Again, I don't like the main character in this. And so she's like, falls. Cool. So then she goes and takes her dog, who has a small seizure, to the vet. And she's like super worried about him, meets the veterinarian, and he's hot. Cool. So then you got the little love connection there. The dog is fine. The dog comes home. And then she meets this guy in an elevator that's in her building that apparently the first time she sees him, he's wearing a bowling jacket that says Joe on it. And he's talking about this B word who hogged the bed all night and wouldn't, and was really a picky eater and like talking very degrading about this B word. Cool. So then we don't like him, but then he keeps popping up and everybody around him loves him. Take a guess.
Wait, is he's the vet?
Yup. And the
There
B
it
word he
is.
was talking about was the female dog. It was a Pibby. It was a Pibby that stole the bed. And so it's just this is a 3.5. I rounded it up to 4 stars. This was so enjoyable, and it really didn't have any business being that enjoyable because I couldn't stand her. Because there's like this whole other layer of like family drama that was like just made me really mad, and it's like supposed to, but so it was really well done that way. But yeah, like I didn't like her, but yet this is still like a 3.5 rounded up to a 4-star read because it was like such a fun, goofy time that I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
What is happening here? Why are we doing this?
Very much.
Incredible. All right, my last one.
Okay.
It's called Ordinary Grace by William Kent Kruger. And halfway through this book, so first thing, we've talked about how I do this from time to time, where I will get an audiobook, have read maybe a small bit of the summary, and then we'll just go on and read and be blindsided. This was one of those because it was under mystery, and I assumed it was going to be a mystery with like, oh, there's a serial killer or there's this, because like the first couple sentences are about the summer of death or whatever. Okay, so I was like, all right, what I got is a book about a boy growing up, like having to grow up very quickly because the first death of the summer was a kid in his class. Then he finds a dead body in it, like by the river, and then his sister dies. Yeah, and then there's
Goodness.
I think there's there's one more death because the sister's boyfriend ends up dying. I'm not going to spoil this one because it's really, really good. But what this book did that was really incredible in the first half, I loved it because this is a story of, it's framed in a way that a guy who's like 50 is telling the story about the year he was 13. Okay? And what they do really well is they get the how kids learn about things by eavesdropping on adults. Mm-hmm. It really did a phenomenal job of, like, I could go back in my head and think about sitting on the top of the stairs, listening to my parents talk about their friends or talking about this thing that's going on, the hardships of marriage. Like, I remember sitting at the top of the stairs hearing all this when they thought I was asleep.
Oh, I used to play Spies. Me and my friends used to play Spies all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so it captured that perfectly. It also does a really good job of capturing when a boy is starting to notice women and starting to notice, like there's a part where one of his neighbors wears a really low cut dress whenever she's like doing the laundry, and like and she's hanging her unmentionables up there, and like him really being like, wow, I really like looking at her, like, sort of thing. Yeah. And then does a really good job of like there's a gal that is deaf, and he walks into her house and she's like ironing and her back is turned, but she's completely naked. And that's the first time that he's ever seen a woman completely naked. And just those thoughts that you have, and like, it does such a good job of that. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, this is all coming back to me. And then his sister dies. And it goes into watching your parents grieve. And when I was 5, my Uncle Alex passed away. He was 15. He was my mom's youngest brother. And on that same day, my sister Grace was born. It was a very emotional day for my family. But I remember listening to my parents grieve when they didn't know I was there.
Yeah.
And I remember that, and it just took me back to that place. And I was driving in the car. I'm driving to Springfield, Missouri for work. Basically once a week. It's 6 hours, and I'm just sobbing. Because I remember those feelings.
Yeah.
And then like seeing all the people come around and the people saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry that this happened." Going to the viewing the night before and having to be dressed up and being there, like I remember that, and it took me back there. It's so beautifully written, and it also does a great job of like this is set in the 60s. And so it goes into, it's set in Minnesota. There's a whole thing about Native Americans in it. And like one of these characters is Native American, and he like gets blamed for the murder of his sister. And so there's that. And then there's like holding on to the grief of knowing who actually killed your sister or who didn't, and like all like there's so much to it. And the dad is a pastor, and so he's trying to put on a good face for these people. It's just so beautiful, and I cried so much because I could just feel everything.
Yeah.
Like I was back to being 5 years old, and so,
Oh,
whoo, man,
I love that.
Ordinary Grace. And it does such a good job of talking about forgiveness and talking about God and talking about all this stuff. 5 stars, 5+ stars. Like
The way you
really.
find the most random books is just incredible.
And this is again, I didn't know what I was getting into. It later in the summary it says, I think it says that his sister dies or something like that.
Yeah, you just didn't get that far.
Just didn't get that far. Straight up. Like, because it's New Bremen, Minnesota, 1961. The Twins are playing their debut season. Ice cold root beers were selling out at the soda counter of Alderson's drugstore, and hot stuff comic books were a mainstay on every barbershop magazine rack. Great. I'm in.
Great.
You've
Yeah,
sold me.
good.
I don't know anything else that's going to happen. That's that's what sold me. And
Okay.
I went on.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Absolutely. I think you absolutely should. All right. Do you have any more that you want to chit chat about?
Yep. Last one.
Okay.
I got to the Song of Achilles.
Okay.
So this is a Greek retelling. I never know what the technical term is because it's not just a retelling. It's like a reimagining probably is the right way to put this.
Okay.
Of Achilles and his story, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that it also goes into I'm going to butcher all these names because they're Greek. Patroclus? Patroclus. L-U-S. Patroclus, yes. And
yeah.
Yeah, Patroclus. And their dynamic, because this is LGBTQ.
So it's actually Greek.
Yeah, no, so it's actually Greek, yes. And it actually goes through and describes a lot of this is actually Greek, it goes through and explains that a lot of this, it obviously the gods themselves are lore to begin with, but it connects it to the lore of that we know and learn in school and things like that. And so it is a 4.3 on Goodreads with over 2 million reviews. It is a crazy well-known book, right?
Yeah.
And I gave it a 4-star, but because of two key things. One, it was kind of slow at points when he's like, because it literally takes him from like growing up very, very young all the way through till the very end, through the battle at Troy, all of that. And it even goes past the battle at Troy.
There's some moments where he's just chilling on the couch.
Yep, for surezies. But I have also started to realize that if I cry at the end of a book, that does not automatically make it a 5-star book.
Okay.
And this is the example of that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because, like, for so long, I think the thing is like, we did this with we did this with the Nightingale, too. If you land the plane really well, that's great, but you still have to fly the plane, and why was it crashing to begin with? Right? You know? And, like, this wasn't a plane crash, but also an impeccable landing does not make for a smooth flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing with this is one of those books that, like you were saying with Ordinary Grace, was just so well written that, like, almost to the point where at moments I had a bit of a hard time reading it because it started to get a little history bookish to me, even though this is a fiction book. And I love Greek mythology. Love Greek mythology.
Sure.
And so, like, I'm, like, enjoying this, but also at the same point, kind of having a hard time reading it. And then I do this thing where I get on Goodreads, and I'm like, why is there so much hype around this book? And I'm, like, reading reviews of it, trying not to talk myself out of not finishing it.
Right.
But then I'm so glad that I did, because it is really a gorgeous, touching story. And you get to the end, and you're like, oh, God, it's so sad.
Yeah.
That I'm like, but also personal growth, because I did not just rate this 5 stars because it made me cry.
Nice.
And so I do, and kind of like you said, you know, it's that coming of age. It's two guys that start off just as friends because they don't really know or understand what's going on, who become literally linked soulmates that are figuring out who and what's going on. And then you have this added element of Achilles' mom being the nymph who can tell his future, that knows he's going to die and when he's going to die and what happens before that. And then you find out that she knew more than she was letting on. And then you find out that, oh, the gods are unhappy, so they've changed his fate. And all of these things that, like, help bring both the two characters together in a much stronger way. But it really is fun because it goes back and forth between being a story of Achilles and being a story of the other one. Patroclus. It goes back and forth between whose kind of main story it is, because the whole book is told from Patroclus' point of view.
Oh.
And how much he admires and views him as the god that he should be in Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to see that dynamic, and it's a really, really kind of weird book, but in such a beautiful way. Such a unique telling of all of it that I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's very, very good.
Yeah. Not quite a 5-star for you, but really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
really
this
good,
is
not Hall of Fame.
yeah. You know, and this is one that, like, you know, books for the boys. You may see again if we do that, if we bring when we bring that segment back, because, you know, there's a lot of war. It's Troy. It's, you know,
Greek mythology is for
Greek
the boys.
mythology is for the boys. Yep, 100%, 100%. So it was a good one. It was good. It was really intriguing.
Good. Oh yeah. Well, I tell you what, that's a podcast and a half if I've ever heard one.
Whew, that was a doozy.
Regularly scheduled segments will be back next time, but we had so many books that we had to get to that, like, we just had to get it off our chest. So be sure, if you liked this style, be sure to leave a comment so that we know what you like, what you don't like, and be sure to let us know what segments you want to hear next time. But of course, if you want to follow us, you can find me on social media that I may or may not use, at Radio Guy Austin. Lauren, where can the people find you?
Lauren's Lifestyle, across it all. Once you found me with a little drinky, you have found me across the board, so.
Fantastic. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to join the Chit Chat and
I
Chapters
can't
Club.
hear that without thinking, tell a friend to tell a friend she's back. Like TikTok audio.
I know what you're talking about.
Every time it goes in my head.
So do that. Tell a
Yeah.
friend to tell a friend that she's back and Austin's with her.
Heck yeah.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next time. And as always, keep on reading.